Welcome. This is the integumentary system. This is the epidermis, which is the upper or outer layer of the two main layers of cells that make up the skin. The epidermis is mostly made of flat scale-like cells called squamous cells. This down here is the dermis, which is a thick layer of living tissue below the epidermis that forms the skin. This is the hypodermis, which is an epidermal layer consisting mostly of adipose tissues.
The nail is a horn-like envelope covering the tips of the finger and toes. In most primates and a few other mammals, fingernails are made of a tough protective protein called alpha-keratin.
The hair. The human hair follicle is an intriguing structure, and much remains to be learned about hair anatomy and its growth. The hair follicle can be divided into three regions: the lowest segment, the middle segment, and the upper segment.
The eccrine sweat gland is any of the rather small sweat glands that produce a fluid secretion without removing cytoplasm from the secreting cells and that are restricted to the human skin. The apocrine sweat gland are those whose secretions are acted upon by bacteria to produce the characteristic odor of perspiration. The sebaceous glands are located within the epithelial tissue of the hair follicle. Sebaceous glands secrete oil or sebum into the follicle, which helps to keep the hair soft. Sebum also helps keep the skin waterproof.
The keratinocytes are the epidermal cell that functions in creating keratin. The melanocytes are cells located in the bottom layer of the epidermis that function in creating melanin.
This is the Meissner's corpuscle, located in the dermal papillae under the epidermis. They are free nerve endings that serve as touch receptors. The Pacinian corpuscle is an ending of a sensory nerve that acts as a receptor for pressure and vibration.
The erector pili muscle is made of smooth muscle fibers. When the muscle contracts, it raises the hair into an upward position and causes goosebumps.
The pink ring is the stratum corneum. It's the outermost layer of the skin that consists of the dead skin cells originated from the inferior layer. The purple ring is the stratum lucidum. It's the clear layer that contains the keratin precursor. The green layer is the stratum granulosum. It's the layer of the epidermis in which the nucleus disappears and keratoidal granules can be found. The blue ring is the stratum spinosum. It's the layer of the epidermis that contains RNA to produce what is necessary for keratin synthesis. Deformation is caused by desmosomes. The yellow layer is the stratum basale. It's the layer of the epidermis that undergoes mitosis to make the cells.
The green ring is the papillary layer, which is the layer that is composed of loose connective tissue and is closest to the yellow, which is the epidermis. The pink is the reticular layer, which is the layer of the dermis that is connected to the hypodermis and consists of fibrous and elastic fibers. And the blue layer closest on the inside is the hypodermis, which I already talked about in the beginning.